What's up guys, Bloodshed here, bringing you the Uliana Monk Push Greater Rift build for Diablo 3 patch 264 and season 16. Now this Uliana build in particular completed a GR 119 with about 1400 Paragon, I believe, on the Asian server, which would be like the #1 rank monk clear right now currently. So a lot of people have been asking me questions, yo Blood, what's going on with Uliana? Is it best and this and that? And it has a lot of potential. This build always had a lot of potential because it has a lot of skill cap involved. Like you need to manage out snapshotting with Mythic Rhythm and applying the EP and spreading it throughout the map. And you have to fish for lots of density to really make it effective. But the counterpoint would be like, usually you have to fish for a lot of density with most classes anyway, or you need to fish for a favorable mob type. The build's really powerful and a lot of fun to play. We did do a speed build with this, where you pretty much just go around and spread your frost to destruction throughout the rift. It's a really fast speed build. I'll put a link in the description if I remember to. So in this video, I hopefully plan on shedding some light on the rotation, how to play it. And it's like anything else, the more practice, the easier it gets. All right, let's talk about how to play the build so you guys can survive and thrive with Uliana's Monk. Now, we're going to talk about something called snapshotting and dynamic effects, and I think that'll help set up the monk. So, a dynamic effect is like COE. So, every 4 seconds, the element changes, and dynamically, now your cold damage is boosted, now your fire damage is boosted. It changes instantly no matter what. So, for instance, if you have a dot on a target, you know what I mean? When the right element comes up, it'll do more damage. And then as soon as the element goes away, you'll go back to doing your normal damage. Assimilation is also a dynamic effect. So unleash a series of attacks, yada, yada, yada. Each enemy hit with the third hit increases your damage by 5%. So it's just like a free damage increase dynamically when it's active, right? Something that is snapshotting. What is snapshotting, right? So we have a dynamic effect, which we just learned about, and then we have a snapshotting effect. So that is Mythic Rhythm. Every third hit from a spirit generator increases the damage of your next spender. So generator is punchy, spender is EP because it spends resource, 40 spirit, like that. EP, you can't really see it, but I'm applying EP using spirit. So you snapshot it, right? If you don't know what snapshotting is, again, it's like you can lock in the damage for a long period of time. It's like, let's say you're playing a game and you use all kinds of potion buffs and you use all kinds of buffs in the world, every type of ability, you can lock in that damage buff for like the rest of the rift, right? It's almost like seems broken, right? But with Mythic Rhythm, you can do that. So let me explain it. So every third hit from a spirit generator increases the damage of your spender. So you go to Kadala and you punch her 3 times. And that will proc Mythic Rhythm. Unfortunately, there's no anywhere that tells you that Mythic Rhythm is procced. And you go over here to the density, you apply that EP that you just Mythic Rhythmed, and then you're gonna 7-sided strike and it's gonna spread that powered up EP all around. The reason why we do it this way is because area damage doesn't work with Madstone or the 2-piece Uliana. So every third hit from your generator applies EP on its own. That would be great. That would make the set so easy to play. But unfortunately, you don't get area damage effect from your EPs if you do it that way. So literally you have to be like, bam, there's Mythic Rhythm. You go over here and you apply it manually and then spread it. And that's basically how to play it. Once it's spread, and you know you have it all over, you can actually just it'll just be there forever. You can just keep dragging, keep spreading it and stuff like that. And then you know when COE cycle pops, you want to use 7-sided strike, you'll do tons of damage, yada yada yada. But really it's about using that Mythic Rhythm. Once something is applied, so you can see these little dots, they look like, let's say these are EPs right here. You can punch them after that. You can't like overwrite a super powered up Mythic Rhythm EP, which is great. So that gives you a little bit of break, a little bit of reprieve there. You know what I'm saying? So once they're already affected by it, you can attack them. So it's just in theory, it's easy, right? You just punch over here and then apply over here and da-da-da. It's just balancing that out, fishing for the right map type, doing this under duress, right? You're just getting impalers thrown at you, ghosts attacking you, not letting your mobs mix up, and balancing out everything together is just way more challenging, and it takes a lot of skill and practice. Once you get down to it, you'll get better and better and better, but it is challenging, jarring at first. If you're like, Blood, I don't want to do that at all, screw that, you can drop Mythic Rhythm or Determination. I did 100 clear with 800 Paragon with just Determination on really like thick density. It was pretty easy. Like, you just go density to density, kill things. But when I was using Mythic Rhythm, it was way, way easier. So you can just use Determination probably to like a GR 110, right? But if you want to go to like 120, you might need a Mythic Rhythm for that. In the clear, I used Mantra of Salvation Agility for that dodge chance. But if I was playing the Ring of Royal Grandeur season and I was using Lefebvre, I'd probably use, Implosion to pull them in and proc my shoulders. But you can also use like Frosties here, or you can use the Orc's Crown for more cooldown. The build's pretty tanky in comparison to other builds. I know it sounds crazy to call Uliana tanky, but with Lefebvre, Spirit Guards, I have Spirit Guards here in the cube. Your belt, of course, that's a lot of damage reduction. And Unity, we're using Unity, so that's pretty cool. Once you have like Gogok going and you have a lot of cooldown and you're punching and all that stuff, you should have 7-sided strike up every cycle. You can see it's up like pretty much every COE cycle, so you don't really need to like, plan it out or anything like that. But if you do save it for one huge ice pop without dying, that's awesome. If you can just save a whole screen of density, group it up together, right, and then blow it up on cold cycle, that would be the ideal like win condition, but it doesn't always happen that way. You might have to just 7-sided strike to proc your belt every 7 seconds, or to stay alive, or just to finish off an elite. So it's not always worked that way, but everything else is self-explanatory. You get the damage reduction, also damage reduction from the Shroud here, cooldown, near-death experience, right? The build's already complicated enough, so nothing else really needs to add to it. The Flow of Eternity just lowers our cooldowns, which is great. Convention, self-explanatory. You don't want to put like 7-sided strike damage on your chest or shoulders. You just want the EP on the helm and boots. It doesn't really do much, so I wouldn't worry about that. It's just there to trigger stuff. These gloves are a really good example of how to build is you want double crit, area damage, and cooldown. Beautiful beautiful gloves. Oh man, I'm so happy I got these ones. And then of course, cold damage everywhere, like on your Gundo gear and your necklace, and double crit cold. Pretty awesome stuff. And then the weapons would be the same thing. Area damage and cooldown reduction, pretty strong. I have this crappy Fist of Az, but the affix is really important. The secondary, you want close to 500 as possible. So this just has cooldown, no area damage, and a high secondary. That's more important than like an ancient, so to speak. Anyways, guys, make sure to follow me up above at twitch.tv/Bluddshed. I stream there Monday through Friday, 10 to 7 p.m. Pacific. And around 10, sometimes I get late making videos, but I try. Special shout out to some patrons out there like John and Polsky. Thank you guys so much for supporting all the new patrons as well. I don't really talk about it on all these videos. It's just something in the background, just an extra. And but I do appreciate you guys and everyone on Twitch always supporting, allowing me to be here every day to make videos and content and streams and stuff like that. From the bottom of my little blood heart, I appreciate you. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.